Today I want to answer the question, why am I suffering so much? And you might expect me now to go down the lane of, yeah, it's because you created with your vibration and because you created with your low level of consciousness. And yes, this is a big part of it. But I also know that if you're in the middle of suffering right now, while I speak these words to you, you already want to close this episode and say, Sebastian, that's not true. I'm not responsible. I'm the victim. And I know why you want to do this. Because I've been there. I've been through so much suffering. I've been through so much pain. I've had heart surgeries. I have scars all over my body. I had all kinds of trauma that I had to overcome. I had all kinds of mental and emotional barriers that were stopping me from reaching a state in my life where I feel at peace. That's why I don't want to talk about that right now. Even though if you want me to help you to raise your vibration, if you're ready for this message, if you want me to help you to raise your consciousness to a higher level, then you can click on the link in the description and inquire for a Skype coaching session with me. But only if you're ready. If right now, while I was saying these words, while I was telling you that it's your vibration, that it's your low level of consciousness that's responsible for your suffering, if you feel anger, if you feel resentment, if you feel as if you want to kick me, as if you want to punch me, as if you want to strangle me, if these emotions come up, and these emotions can be normal, no hard feelings here, that's totally normal, don't get me wrong. When I was at this point, when I was in the middle of suffering, and my mentor, my spiritual mentor back then told me that I'm responsible for my vibration, all I was saying was, come on, you're full of shit, what are you talking about? Has nothing to do with my vibration. But eventually you will figure that out. However, I want to give you another message. I want to give you an even more important message that will help you to deal with your situation, no matter if you are at a place right now where you can accept the fact that you create your own suffering, or if you're in the place right now where you can't accept this fact when you're not there yet. It's also okay. Everybody is on their own spiritual journey. And what I want to share with you are a few interesting life stories, and also my own life story and what it led me to. But first I want to tell you about Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is the most famous spiritual talk show host. I don't know, can you even say spiritual talk show host? I don't even know how to describe her because she does so many things. She inspires so many millions of people, and a lot of people don't know that her childhood was full of suffering. And at 13, after suffering what she described as years of abuse, she ran away from home. And when she was 14, she became pregnant, but her son was born prematurely and he died shortly after birth. She went through so much suffering. I mean, just imagine being a black woman back then in these times and wanting to become a famous television host. That alone was already a big obstacle she had to overcome. And now combine that with the fact of being abused for years, running away from home, having a baby that dies right after birth. I mean, everything is against you. So much suffering, but she still made it. And the same is true for Eckhart Tolle, if you've ever read his book The Power of Now, in which he describes that he had his big awakening after what he described as immense suffering, just suffering that he can't stand anymore, that he just can't take it anymore. And then he had his awakening. Or let's take, for example, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins was abused by his mother, and he was actually chased out of the house by his own mother when he was 17, while his mother was holding a knife. And here's what he had to say about that. If my mom had been the mother I thought I wanted, I wouldn't be as driven. I wouldn't be as hungry. I wouldn't have suffered, so I probably wouldn't have cared about other people's suffering as much as I do. And it made me obsessed with wanting to understand people and help create change. Now think about that. If he hadn't suffered so much, he would have never become this inspirational, this motivational person that he is today. And he's helping millions of people all over the world with his work. And at the same time, he's feeding millions of people with his charity work. And even though I'm not at a Tony Robbins level yet, I can still see how my own suffering allows me now to help people, to help you, for example, with this episode, or if you decide to inquire for a Skype coaching session with me in a Skype coaching session. And because I've been through so much suffering, because I had so much pain in my life, because these memories of my heart surgeries, these memories of my childhood trauma, these memories were haunting me for such a long time and were messing up my vibration, were messing up my life, were messing up my consciousness, so that I was trapped at such a low level of consciousness that I did things that I would now never do. I mean, sometimes it's still hard for me to realize that I was once this person, that I once used to do these things, that I once used to act from such a low level of consciousness. But at the same time, I can see how this suffering that I went through allowed me to be the person I am today, and allowed me to now have the empathy and the understanding of people who go through either similar situations, who suffer in a similar way, or also people who suffer in completely different ways. But I know what suffering feels like. I know what it feels like to want to break free and to just be trapped in it. I know how it feels like to not be able to accept the fact that for a lot of suffering, not for all, but for a lot of suffering, we are responsible for it. With our own vibration, our own level of consciousness, that we, if we break through this, if we finally see the big picture, then we can raise up to a higher level of consciousness. How do I know that? Because I've done it. And because I used to be trapped in this lower level of consciousness. Because I used to be trapped in incredible suffering that I can't even describe. I mean, I had several points in my life where I thought about, okay, this is it. I'm just gonna end it. I don't want this anymore. Why do I have to go through this? But now I can see the big picture. And that's the big message I want to leave you with. The answer to the question, why do I suffer so much, lies in the question. It's hidden in the question. And the one word that you need as an answer is why. What is your why? What is the big picture here? You don't know what the future prepares for you, but you will only know if you do everything in your power to overcome this suffering. I mean, just think about it. If I at some point had decided, okay, no more suffering, I can't take it anymore, I just want peace, and I would have ended my life. I would not be here. I would not be able to hopefully inspire you and help you with this episode. I would not be able to help so many amazing deliberate creators in Skype coaching sessions. I would not be able to now fully enjoy my life. So always think about the why. Think about the big picture. Remember people such as Eckhart Tolle, such as Tony Robbins, such as Oprah Winfrey, and maybe even me. Maybe you can take me as an example for your own situation to say, okay, if he can do it, I can do it. And that's true. That's what I really believe, because I'm just a normal human being. I'm not some special spiritual guru that came from the heaven above or some stuff like that. I'm just a normal human being. I just went through so much suffering and through so many experiences that made me who I am today. And you don't know. I mean, maybe in a couple of years, maybe in a decade, you will be in my position and you will teach other people. You will help other people. You will inspire other people. Often suffering is the first step towards finding your true calling, because the universe shows you with so much contrast. This is not what you want. Change. And change can either be changing yourself or changing your environment. I mean, in the example of Oprah Winfrey, she had to change her environment. In the example of Tony Robbins, the universe basically forced him out of this environment with his mother and a knife in her hand going, okay, you get out of the house. And those things, in the moment we experience them, it's pure suffering. But once we look back at it, years afterwards, decades afterwards, we can often say, that's the best thing that ever happened to me. I mean, nowadays, I really say that my heart surgeries and all the trauma that was related to it, now I can say it's the best damn thing that ever happened to me. While I was experiencing the heart surgeries and while I was experiencing the trauma, I just wanted it to end. But that's why I want you to keep in mind the big why. The answer to the question, why am I suffering? Why am I suffering so much? Is already hidden in the question. It's the why. Think about the big picture. What is your why? And right now you might not know it, but it will at some point reveal itself to you if you continue to trust in the universe, if you continue to raise your vibration, if you continue to work on reaching a higher level of consciousness, then it will eventually reveal itself to you. And the moment this happens, then you will experience pure bliss and peace. How do I know it? Because I've experienced it. And I know that in the situation that you're in right now, if you ask yourself, why am I suffering so much? Why am I suffering all the time? Why do I have to suffer? If you ask yourself these questions, I know that right now, from a logical point of view, you can't see it and you can't feel it because you're trapped in suffering. But I just want you to always remember that there is a why. The why is the reason. There is something waiting for you on the other side of suffering. I know it because I've experienced it and because I helped so many amazing deliberate creators to get on the other side in Skype coaching sessions. I know that it's possible. I just know it. So always remember, there is a big picture and you don't know what's waiting for you on the other side. All I know, and that's something that I can really say with 100% confidence, is that it will be amazing. I mean, if you would have told me when I was in the middle of suffering that one day I will help other people to manifest their dreams, I will inspire other people to believe in the law of attraction, I will help people to get over suffering, I would have not believed you. Please always see the big picture. Always remember that the answer is hidden in the question. And if you enjoyed watching this video, please send out some love to the YouTube universe by giving this video a big thumbs up. And I would also appreciate it if you would leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think about my video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to click on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I release a new video for you.